Hello darlings, how the devil are we? So, all sorts of news to talk about today, and starting off at the beginning, we're going to be talking about League of Legends again. More specifically, their big fat stamp down on all forms of toxicity. Riot seem to be leading the front on fighting all forms of toxicity at the moment. Recently, you may have seen their big stamp down on AFKing, and this time it looks like they are looking at chat as well. So there really isn't too much to the actual story itself, because all they're doing essentially is disabling the all chat inside of matches. And if you don't really know how League of Legends chat works, basically you have your team chat and then you have your all chat. In team chat, you'll be able to communicate with your team members, and then in the all chat, you're able to talk with all parties inside of your match. And Riot have basically found the all chat to be a source of toxicity, and therefore they are going to disable it. And they basically said on their site, while most of our focus around behavioural systems in 2021 has been on gameplay-based behaviours like AFKing and inting, we've heard from you that the verbal abuse has been a rising problem this year too. We're working on a number of changes to systematically address this at both League and Riot levels. But one direct change that you'll soon see in patch 11.21 is that we're disabling all chat in the match-made queues. They've also stated though that enemies will be able to hear and see your emotes and your champ mastery unless it's muted. However, at the end of the game, they will be cross-team once again. Now, if you're a MOBA player like myself, I'm not particularly a League fan, but I definitely am in the Dota 2 space. And the general feeling is that Riot have got this a little bit wrong, because generally the main source of aggravation usually comes from your fellow teammates and not the opposing team. And I'm sure a lot of you have all been in games where things aren't just going quite right and everyone is blaming everyone else, and the slurs and the cussing begins, and then it just derives into 30 minutes of unpleasantness. And it would seem a lot of people feel like this, because the general consensus across Reddit also agrees with this. And just some of the top comments from this post. So we've got: post-games lobby chats are very amusing. I predict a barrage of texts asking the opposing team to report a teammate, and the occasional complaint that your enemy chose an OP brain-dead character. And a barrage of easy, of course. Not all are happy with this choice, however, because it does mean the loss of an opt-in feature, meaning that those games that were civil you'll now lose out on. Stating, why are some people celebrating the loss of an opt-in feature? I'm neutral on the subject, but I much still prefer if people actually still had an option to enable all chat. With others quoting, in my experience playing years of Dota, team inviting is way more prevalent than all chat toxicity. All chat, at least in Dota, is pretty chill for the most part, except in the endgame lobby. So whether or not this is a good change at the moment, the jury is still out on this one. There are a few people who believe that this is just Riot putting their hands out and saying, hey, look at us, that we're doing something right now. But admittedly, on the other half, it is something that is actually happening. The war on toxicity is a difficult one to combat, and bar actually removing all forms of communication, how do you actually manage it? Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Do you think this is a good change or not? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, I'll be back with more news and reviews soon, so have a great week.